Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and today we've got a very cool animation tool we're going to be checking out. It is called SpriteLoop, and this is a whole lot like Spriter or Spline. It is a cutout animation tool. And we're going to go ahead and show you how all of these pieces work together so you can go ahead and create animations using sprites like this, by cutting your sprites into a variety of different pieces, and then you can control how they position, like so, and I can go ahead and pivot the foot, and so on. So you can create these like almost virtual bone type setups using a bunch of individual sprites, specifically a set of pings. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and quickly set this up. So I'm not going to use everything here, but we'll use the same basic concept. Now, the cool thing about this one, again, it is completely free, available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Go ahead, create a new project here, and let's go and set this one up to 1024 by 1024, like so. And you can name it here as well. So, for example, Bob. All right, so we're creating Bob now. And what you're going to do is bring in a bunch of PNG files to use as your base parts. So of the sprite that you cut up, you basically bring those in. And I'm only going to partly set this guy up, but you get an idea of how all the relationships are defined. All right, so here we go. So our first person comes in here. This is the head. And then you'll notice we have the jaw. Now, the important thing you're going to want is to make sure that your hierarchy is right. So you're going to want to have this. In this case, you see it's over top. So if the jaw is below the head, then the head will draw over top of it. So you want to make sure that your hierarchy is right like this. Same thing here. We have the body, which we should go under the head, which is good. So our body is down at the bottom. And then we've got our arm. So we're going to move our arm over here. And we don't want the arm to be very much near the top. But this one, our forearm, we're going to be at the very, very top. And you just drag and drop around those things until you've got things set up. Now, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and set up the pivot locations where things are going to rotate relative to. That is this little red dot right here. Just grab it and move it to where it should be relative to its parent. Same thing here. We want to move this arm kind of right there. The head, we're going to move this down towards the bottom. The jaw, I don't think it matters. And now we're going to set up hierarchies or parental hierarchies. So what you see here, the lower arm, I can go ahead and say, okay, pick, and then the upper arm. So that now is a hierarchical relationship. The lower arm belongs to the upper arm. Same thing, this one, I can go ahead and set that up so that it hooks up to the body. Now that doesn't always work correctly, so I'm going to go ahead and keep doing it this way instead. So there we go. And then the same thing, we're going to have the jaw is going to be owned by the head, and then the head is going to be connected to the body. So we have this very simple hierarchy now. So if I move something here, the children of it will move around as well. I'm going to undo that so we got back into our regular position. So this is the basics of setting things up. Now that we've got all our relationships defined, if I go ahead and move this, everything that is connected to it will move as well, like you see here. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab this top level control right here, and we've got this neat little ability, and I can go ahead and say this is a smart limb. So you need to have a child in order for this to be possible, but now these two are defined. And what you notice here, I have this control point down here, and I can go ahead and I can move that around. So here's how you can go ahead and start making your animations. Speaking of animations, well, they are done down here. You got this timeline down here. We can go ahead and create a new animation. So let's go here, new animation, and we'll call this arm motion. Like so. And then you got this timeline here, so you can set up the total number of frames, etc. Each one of these is one of the frames in the sequence. And you're going to notice up here, you have controls. So what you're going to want to do here is we're actually going ahead and doing a timeline. We're adding keyframes. You just hit the K key. You got a bunch of other controls here. All the controls for handling everything are available here, by the way. But what we want to do is over time, so let's just go ahead and hit K. And you're going to notice set to keyframe right here. And then we're going to go up here and we're going to move things back a little bit like so. And then hit K again. And then I'm going to move back a little bit more like so. Move on to a different frame. Like, yay. And then K. And then click here. Let's move back like so. Hit K. And then move here. Go forward. And then hit K. It's a very dumb animation, but it is definitely an animation. You can also set how to lerp it, ease in, ease out, smooth, and so on. Then once that is done, basically you have just created an animation. You see right here? There is our super weird kind of perverted animation that we've created. And again, just keep adding more keyframes as you wish. So again, move this up here, and then K, and then move this up here, and then like K, and then there is your animation. By the way, as you're going through this, you've also got the ability to set up ghosting. So you click it there, and you're going to see the last 3 frames. So as you're positioning things, you can see how much you've changed between frames or what the previous frames were doing. You can set that down to none, 1, or 3. So you can have just the previous, like there. So you can see multiple different previous ghost frames. So you got onion skinning of the previous frames of animation. So that's basically what you will see as you move back in sequence right here. So you can use that as a handy animation tool. And then once you've got something you ultimately like, you basically can go ahead here and export it. Now this is meant for games, so I can easily export this one out as a sequence, as a single sprite sheet, as an image sequence. So this would be like individual, each frame comes out as a PNG file on its own. I can set it out as an animated GIF, an WebP, or an SPLA package, which is also usable inside of the default game engine directly. So there's actually a default plugin for SpriteLoop for playing these files. So it'll come up here, let's say an animated GIF, and we'll go ahead and we'll export that one out. And then, sure, Bob, arm motion, like so. And then that will now be up here on my desktop. Let's go ahead and load Bob. And there you see our really amazing, kind of totally not jerking off animation. And again, we only saw like a little subset of what this is capable of, so we could come back here again, and you could animate. So let's not save that one. Let's load in our original. So you've got this. If you were doing a walk cycle, I could come up here, or just doing idle. I want to do an idle animation frame, and I want to make this 12 frames long. You see our frames just got a lot smaller there. And then once again, you just set it to where you want it. So here, basically everything. Let's move this one frame. Let's move that over a little here. Hit K. Let's move that over here and hit K. But let's grab our head and let's move that a little over there and hit K. So you should also be able to rotate, and there's the jaw rotates with it. It's a little, it's definitely a choice there to have the jaw how I defined it, which I'm not 100% certain that the way I set the jaw up is the right way to go. But there you see a variety of different animations. And again, I could come down here at the same time, move the arm out here as well. And then there is our, oh my God, everything I do is the same thing. It just creates a jerking off motion. It's just he's happier now. Anyways, that gives you an idea of what this tool is all about. Super straightforward. There's actually some more capabilities here as well. So you can come up here, you can actually create variations. So if I had different versions of the arm, for example, I could map those in there as well. And then if we had, we can also alternatives for skins. So unsigned skins use this selected skins variant. So you can set it up so that you have the same animation, but different body parts attached to it as well. And then once again, you've got a ton of export options right here. So sprite sheets, image sequence, animated GIFs, or SPLA, which then can open up in a tool of choice. You also got the ability to run full screen or not full screen, as you see right here. And flashbang warning, there is a light mode in addition to the dark mode. And yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it. If you want to figure out how things work, once again, your simple keyboard shortcuts are all available right here. There are 2 graphics modes, so WebGL or Canvas 2D. Not sure why you'd switch between them, but you can. And obviously you can create multiple animations. We saw that earlier on here. So I create a new animation right there, multiple animations, switch between them. Got control over here. We can also do, again, multiple different skins. So you have the same animation working across multiple skins as well. And yeah, that's kind of the idea behind this. So let's go take a look at where it's available. So this is called SpriteLoops. It is available up on itch.io, available for Windows, Mac, and Linux OS. So again, you use PNG parts, set up animation rigs, create usable variations with skins. You can preview the results immediately. And yeah, you could also use this for UI elements, virtual VFX, and so on. So you import pings, import layered artwork. You can also go directly from Krita and Photoshop using their official plugins. I'll show you those in just a second. Create one animation, reuse it across multiple skins and variants, and then animate position, rotation, scale, skew, opacity, pivots, and parent-child hierarchies. And then you can export it out to those various different formats we talked about. There is a default runtime extension that they can use to run these animations directly inside the default game engine. And again, it is free, which is very, very cool. Again, on top of that, there are plugins available for Krita and Photoshop. You want to export them directly over to it. And there is also an extension here for running it inside of the default game engine. And I am a big fan of the default game engine, so it's cool to have this cutout animation tool that you can run directly inside of default. And you can load those animations in that you create there. You see the process of playing the animation right there. Super simple, straightforward. Animation events can be fired, a bunch of individual controls. You can switch between the skins and so on. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. SpriteLoop. Now again, this is simple compared to something like Spriter or Spline, but for a lot of people, it's all you need. And again, completely free and available on many platforms. So let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.